Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. If you are new here, I do appreciate you giving this a chance. If you're liking the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help out a lot. So let's dig in. So I actually got on this a couple of different ways. One having to do with Caitlin Clark, which we're going to dig into in a minute, but it just followed up very nicely on this. Sean Merriman, for those of you that don't recognize the name, he was I forget how many times, but I want to say like 3 times. He's a Pro Bowl player in the NFL. He's been in media as well, and he posted something yesterday about, with everything that's going on, like what do you do in terms of the culture and entertainment, like getting away from politics. That's basically was the gist of it. And I responded that I'd say sports, but thanks to media like ESPN, you can no longer talk about sports without people injecting politics. Sports used to be an escape. Now it's the same old crap, but with sports. And Sean, probably because I happen to be maybe the first or second person to comment, actually did respond to me and said it's not just ESPN. You have some vultures that get paid by injecting politics into sports. Otherwise, they wouldn't have a job. They know that will cause the reaction they're looking for. So if politics don't work, then the race baiting starts. I just want to say, I think it says on his, yeah, 3-time NFL All Pro. Awesome. So I thought that was really interesting because that leads into something that I saw about Caitlin Clark. Well, we could talk about so many different things, right? But I think he's got some great points. And one of them, unfortunately, is that you have people in doing sports that are actually specifically hired for the politics of it all, as opposed to back in the day where you just had these great sports media talents that you enjoyed listening to talk about sports and analyze sports and debate over their favorite players and teams and all that. And it's just a completely different thing now, which led me to this. Brittany Danielle, Caitlin Clark had 4 points. Now, see, she was upset because of this headline by the Associated Press that mentions Enrique and Caitlin Clark led lead WNBA All-Stars to 117-109 win over U.S. Olympic team. She didn't like that Caitlin Clark was in there. Apparently, she also doesn't understand a point guard's job is not just to score, and that Caitlin Clark was the floor general, and Caitlin Clark also had 10 assists. And if we remember, for those of you that have not seen this in my other video, it's not that long, so we're just going to clip through this. We also had this. This is how Cheryl Reeve, the Olympic coach, treated Caitlin Clark in an all-star game when they're bringing the ball up the court. This is even in the first half, right? Like, this isn't to get back into the game at the end. By the way, this is great smart by Caitlin Clark here. As soon as Kelsey turns to the ball, Caitlin Clark separates away. Boom, fantastic pass. But yeah, I guess stuff like that, overcoming that, having a whole lot of fun, grabbing 10 assists, that didn't have anything to do with her leading there. You had Enrique leading in points, you had Caitlin Clark leading in assists. But someone else pointed this out, if I have this correctly. Let me go, wait, all right, let me go to this, but I think this is the one I want to, let me pop this down for a second. Yeah, they brought this up yesterday because of this stuff. As a senior editor at ESPN, this type of bias is really inexcusable. How are you a sports writer for such an important sports staple and can't comprehend why the #1 pick is getting attention? Majority of the most watched games this season include the Fever, the team she plays for. Because this was posted, what I just showed you about the 4 points, because she was upset about the headline. She wanted Angel Reese to be in the headline, is that this is not new for her. This is back in June. I'm convinced the media is dragging this Caitlin Clark convo. She's a pro and she's doing her thing, but the media wants to craft a story that isn't there. Are some watching the WNBA for Cece? Absolutely, but a lot aren't. They're watching for the Aces, Sun, Liberty, Sparks, etc. We all know that to be a lie. We can start by looking at this. The Fever, by far top of the league. We already know they've already set a season record for combined attendance home and away. We know many of the away numbers. If you can't see them, for example, I believe the Liberty was a Fever game. The Sparks was a Fever game. By the way, the Sparks drew 19,000 when Caitlin was there. They had a game of only 3,000 when she wasn't. Seattle was a Fever game. Mercury was a Fever game. Correct me if I'm wrong on a couple of these. I am going by memory from talking about them before. I know Vegas was a Fever game. Minnesota, I believe, was a Fever game. If not, it's close. We know Washington was. And again, look at the lows on these other teams. 3,200, 3,200, 4,200, 5,500, 3,300, 3,200, 3,200, 3,200, 3,200, 3,200, 3,200. TV ratings. 15 times they've been over 1 million. Caitlin Clark was in 13 of them, hadn't been a million TV rated game since 2008. Yes, it absolutely is Caitlin Clark. And we'll flip to this next thing. Writer, senior editor at ESPN. No idea what Anscape. Producer, hip hop and the White House. I mean, like, this is the point making. This is not a woman who was hired for her sports take at ESPN. 100% not. And so this is the garbage you get. And then I'm sorry, I'm laughing because then you get people like me that complain about it. But I think rightly so, because we want it to change. We want some sports with our sports. Is that really too much to ask? Can we not get some sports with our sports? But yeah, it's just absolutely crazy that every little thing, and by the way, the media is that's the other thing. The media is not even saying that. The media has been trying to downplay that the entire time. I mean, look what they're doing with Rookie of the Year race. Caitlin Clark, as I've said weeks ago, Caitlin Clark's an MVP candidate. Y'all are talking about Rookie of the Year. Crazy, crazy. But I'm going to leave you with this. I think this is it. But I found a different angle. You know that play I just showed you? I found another angle on the pass to Aaliyah Boston. And this is just crazy next level. I mean, look at how she had to thread, and you can't actually enjoy the distance of it. We saw this from the other angle. You could see how far apart it was. Far. But look at how she threads the needle on this pass. I don't know how Brittany Griner didn't stop it. I mean, this thing bounces about an inch from Griner's foot. Check this out. Look at that pass. Are you kidding me? Perfect in stride. Aaliyah Boston to the basket. Absolutely insane. Look, let me see if I'm going to go right to this part again, but this is absolutely crazy. And what you can't appreciate, you saw on the other one, is how far apart the player guarding Caitlin is, and where Griner is, and then where Aaliyah Boston actually catches the ball. I mean, that is crazy. So leaving you with something good. That's what I was just gonna say. But yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting with what Sean said, and immediately I had that experience with what Brittany put out, and then the response to that, because I believe this that I pulled out for you is actually the response down here. Yeah, that was like the first response to it. Really? And someone says this is why we aren't taking ESPN serious anymore. Their heads are in the clouds when it comes to reporting. Keep calling her out. If WNBA wants to be taken seriously, these clowns need to be replaced. Funny how the 2024 All-Star voting showed differently. Don't need a calculator to show the difference prior to. But hey, she can run with whatever theory she wants. It's ESPN, not surprised. She can write whatever she wants. The numbers don't lie. Now, where I get nervous is I don't know who the voters are for these WNBA awards, but Caitlin already been snubbed 3 times. So how deep does that rabbit hole go? Senior editor, no wonder their product has gone to BS. Unfortunately, and with respect, I think they hired a lot of people who have not had experience working a broader appeal crowd, and that's why there wasn't a crowd. So a lot of people fumbling right now to get their bearings because of ego and feeling. That's, as you can see, sort of overwhelmingly, and this was good to see, against her and calling out the ridiculousness of this all. And can't we all just take a breath and enjoy the sports? But I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.